Good evening, friends. Welcome to the second show of the BW Hotelier Hansgrohe Design Innovation to Conservation series. It's another beautiful panel. The session is called Creating Sustained Value. We have some very good quality of speakers. We have an amazing moderator. We have Ritu Bhatia Kler. I shall introduce the show to you and the speakers soon as the session comes in. For now, we are going to dive into the keynote session. By who, I shall just tell you, right? But let's first get into the show with the video of Hansgrohe. What a beautiful lineup of products, excellent video, and I'm telling you, much better products. And who better than David Cooper, who comes onto the show all the way from Cape Town. Can we get David on the screen? Yeah. All right, let's get David Cooper on the screen, please. Welcome to the show, David. Permit me to introduce you. I want you to be on the screen when I'm speaking about you.
Okay.
David Cooper is a part of the absolute senior global leadership team of Hansgrohe, based out of the most beautiful Cape Town. I mean, for those of you who are not too familiar with Cape Town and haven't been there, I must suggest you all should head there. They're well past their water problems, their water woes, which David should speak about. More on David for now. David Cooper is the head of global project for Hansgrohe. Based out of Cape Town, like I said, he heads the Hansgrohe business in South Africa. In addition to his leadership role, David is the area manager for Sub-Saharan Africa and is the head of global projects in Germany at Hansgrohe Group. Prior to his current role, David has worked 25 years in the field of general management, marketing, sales for various premier and international brands. Without much ado, let me bring the mic straight to David Cooper. The camera is already focused. Welcome, David. Welcome to India. Welcome to the Hansgrohe BW show.
Bhuvi, thank you very much, and a big welcome to all our guests out there. And yeah, it's an absolute privilege to be here. So I'll dive straight in. Just going to make sure I can share my screen. And can you tell me if it's working? No. Let me try again. Give us a second.
Share screen.
Yeah. Should come up any minute now. There we go. How's that?
Beautiful.
Great. Okay, so a big warm welcome from all of us and the family at Hansgrohe. So Hansgrohe is a company that was founded in 1901 by a man who was a real genuine pioneer and constantly in search of innovative ideas and always challenging the status quo. In fact, him and his family are responsible for many of the new innovations that we have seen in the sanitary industry for in excess of 100 years now, that today we might take for granted, but the fact is somebody had to invest it or had to invent it. Today, the Hansgrohe Group, we are very proud to say, is one of the few global players in the sanitary industry. And the made in Germany production remains mainly in the Black Forest, which is the core and heart of our business and where we are from. So our purpose at Hansgrohe is that we deliver human-centric water experiences that make you feel truly alive. And water is at the very heart of whatever we do. We do this through two distinctive brands, our luxury brand, Axel, and our premium brand, Hansgrohe. Within Axel, form follows perfection. And this is a design brand for luxurious bathrooms and kitchens since 1993, when we did our first collection with Philip Stark. And in fact, if you don't know, Axel actually stands for golden water. Axel products are an expression of individuality, and it's not a type of product that you'll see all over the place. It is something that is very individualistic, and it's definitely not something that you'll see next door. In the developmental process, we proceed until nothing more can be added or removed. And I think what is very important is that we do this in collaboration with world-renowned designers. So those that are at the very top of their game internationally. Axel stands for avant-gardism, perfection, and individualization. Hansgrohe, after whom our business is named after the founder of our business, meet the beauty of water. This is the premium brand of our business. When we show the flow of water in the kitchen and the bathroom, and by developing groundbreaking solutions, we are known as the innovator within the sanitary ware industry. Hansgrohe stands for durable, top quality, and environmentally friendly product. Like we mentioned earlier, we are a global leader, but not only that, in terms of product, we are a global leader in terms of the design of our products. And we have won in excess of 600 internationally renowned design awards in Germany and around the world. And we do this, like I mentioned earlier, by working with the world-renowned international architects and designers, the likes of Jean-Marie Mousseau, the Philip Stark, Antonio Cicero, Barbara and Oscarby. And again, we do this because these are the men and women that are the leaders in their industry. We stick to what we do best. We create and manufacture and produce world-leading products. These men and women are the best at what they do, and they're also closer to the international trends, whether they're designing for us, Louis Vuitton, the Burj Khalifa, or some furniture design. Whatever they do, they are the leaders in their game. So creating sustained value, and why is this so important? So to us as Hansgrohe, water is everything. It is at the core of our business, and water is the elixir of life. At the same time, a lot of areas around the world are experiencing or under water stress. Coming from Cape Town, or currently living in Cape Town, as Bhuvi mentioned earlier, I can speak firsthand about what it is like to live in an environment where you're going to run out of water. I mean, we were down to 15% water in our dams, but what no one tells you is that 12% of that is mud. So we were literally down to the last 3% of the water, and we were within a hair's breadth of becoming the first major city in the world to run out of water and literally turn the taps off. I mean, what we were doing to conserve water is it's strange, but kind of become a habit. And one of the worst things that I had to do actually was, in order to save water when you shower, was I had to shower with my wife. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, when we were showering, you open the shower, you run under the water, you close the shower. We had an egg timer on the wall, so you can see how much time you've actually been in the shower. So you open it, you run under, you get underneath, you soap yourself underneath the shower again. And then what you've also got underneath of you, you've got two big buckets. So you'll have a couple of people showering, 3, 4, 5, whatever, until you actually fill up these buckets. And then you take these buckets of water and you go and empty the toilet, flush the toilet, or you water the garden, and you try to keep a little bit of a garden you've got alive. We've got the drought in California as another example that is just not going away. And what we're also seeing is that the increasing prices of water around the world. So the United Nations has also committed to 17 points of sustainability, and we have aligned ourselves with them. And our passion and responsibility for water over the decades is what shapes us as a green company. And as we continue to try and make a smaller, let's say, footprint at the moment as possible in order to conserve our natural resources. So as a pioneer, Hansgrohe strives to harmonize, let's say, the triple bottom line. So economic success with social responsibility and the environmental protection, or the protection of our environment. And this is reflected in everything we do, whether we're making the product or in the end product that we have. And 4 examples of the technologies that we've introduced to the industry in order to save water are EcoSmart, Air Power, Cool Start, and Low Flow. So EcoSmart products use up to 60% less water, but not only that, we also re-engineer the product. So it's not just a case of putting in a flow restrictor, but we re-engineer the product so that you're actually using less, or having less of an effect of the outcome of the shower on the end consumer. So the person using it doesn't necessarily feel like they're using less water, even though you're saving up to 60%. We also add air to the water via Air Power, and what this does is it makes the droplets a lot bigger, so that when you are having a shower and the water's falling on you, it feels like you're actually using a lot more water than you actually are by using air. We also brought Cool Start to the market, and Cool Start is basically what means is when the mixer is in the front position, when you open it, you're not triggering the hot water from your hot water tank or geyser, or whatever you might call it. So now you're starting to save energy as well as you're saving water, as if you were trying to wait for warmer water to come through the system. And low flow. So all of Hansgrohe's mixers are 5 liters per minute. So we are EcoSmart as it stands, but we also are able to offer 3.5 liters per minute, should you wish to choose so. We also work with you, our customer, to reach your targets. So an example of this is taken from Hilton, and their Travel with Purpose, where they are committed to doubling their investment in social impact and cutting their environmental footprint in half. And this, working with a company like Hansgrohe, like us, we can actually assist you, our customer, to achieve your goals and reducing your footprint. So in summary, why Hansgrohe? I think, so we can summarize with our German quality and the quality of our product. We are global leading in terms of design. Innovation, we keep on bringing innovation, new products, and new technology to the market. Service, before the sale, post-sale, we believe we offer unprecedented service around the world. In fact, we even have a 24-hour hotline in Germany. So if there is something that in the unique instance. So ultimately, what operators and owners and investors desire in that their customers have a true relaxation from a great shower experience, a well-designed shower that offers consistent, maintenance-free showering for many, many years, and one that optimizes the use of water without actually compromising on the end performance for the customer. We want happy customers that come back and back again and refer their hotel to families and friends. So we desire to create value by saving time and money and offering peace of mind over the product lifecycle. In fact, research has shown that hotel customers want 2 main things in their stay in a hotel. The first one is actually good Wi-Fi. The second one is a good shower, and this is where they start and end the day. So for them, a good shower is vitally important. So from my side, I'd just like to say thank you very much for your time, and we'll be over to you.
Thank you for a most wonderful presentation. And let me tell you, you were spot on. You're well within time, absolutely efficient. And that's amazing, amazing. David did set up our session extremely well. We will now dive into the show. But before we dive into the show, Kunal, why don't we see a bit of Hansgrohe on the screen, a video? More the merrier.
We have a distinct attitude. It determines our thinking, It is the driving force which compels us to continually develop new visions, beginning with the finest materials, traditional methods, and the most innovative technologies, in collaboration with the world's best designers. Resulting in cutting-edge products. Our attitude reveals itself in every detail. Perfect in form and in function. In a class of their own. We share this attitude with our discerning customers. For them, we make no compromise. In every one of our avant-garde products. In every version. In every customization. In perfection. Form follows perfection. Oxor.
As our lives become ever more restless, maybe it's time to ask ourselves, which moments in life are the most beautiful? At Hansgrohe, we believe it's the moments with water. Because water is the essential to us in 1,000 ways every single day. We share it from our very first moments. At special times when we're together with our families and friends. With the ones we love. Or the times when we are simply by ourselves. That's why we do everything we can to make your moments with water as unique and precious as possible. Hansgrohe. Meet the beauty of water.
Oh, that's brilliant. Wow, Hansgrohe. This is absolutely amazing. Products, wow. So now you just heard David with his keynote. It's time to bring in the session. Kunal, can we get all the speakers in so that we can get rolling? Hi, Gaurav. Hi, David. Hi, Rizwan. Hi, Ritu.
Hi, everyone.
Right. Hi, Rahul, Abhishek. Hi, Rizwan.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Bhuvanesh.
Brilliant. So where is Hari?
Hi, guys.
Right, there is Hari. All right, so we're all there. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second episode of the BW series. This is the second show in the Design Innovation to Conservation series, Creating Sustained Value. I have some wonderful speakers. I have a very polite, genial moderator today, Ritu Bhatia Kler, right? She's the managing director of Total Integrated Design India Private Limited. In short, we call it TID. A designer par excellence, while Ritu's passion for design and hotels started in Singapore, where she lived for years. Her career took off at the Taj Mahal Hotel. So there's a lot of Taj, along with Hari and Rizwan, where she picked up rich insights in hotel operations. Designing for hotels was only a natural corollary for a genial moderator. and TID was born in 1995. Uh, Having journeyed across India working on various hotel projects ranging from budget, business to luxury hotels and resorts, from greenfield projects to renovations, Ritu has now specialized in areas such as spas, fitness clubs, and has worked with some of the top domestic and international brands: Taj, ITC, Fortune, Accor, IHG, Marriott, Hilton, Shangri-La, and various spa operators. Besides India, she has interacted with consultants and guided the team to take on projects internationally in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, and more. Rizwan, there is something about Taj. The tenures are long, the employees are loyal, and the company is loyal to its employees. Rizwan has done over 20 years. Am I right, Rizwan? You're muted.
You're right. You're right, Bhuvanesh. You're right.
So I was talking to Rizwan yesterday. Uh, any guesses where he's from? Goa, the land of sand, the land of beaches. Uh, Hospitality has been a key focus area for years for Rizwan. He's managed to deliver a lot of prestigious and large and medium to large and small to medium projects. Uh, in his current role, he manages and deals with internal and external stakeholders and all aspects of project management, right from conceptualization, planning, design, management, technical services, construction, management, procurement, and closure. Uh, Welcome, Rizwan. Now there's another solid Taj hand, Hari, my friend NV Hariharan. If Rizwan has done 20 years, Hari has done 29 years. He's the Associate Vice President, Central Materials Group for IHCL Taj. Both of them are based out of Mumbai. Something with Taj, like the Japs I wrote, job tenures are nearly lifelong. Hariharan and IHCL Taj go back 29 years. Hari has been majorly associated with various renovation and new building projects for the group, for hotels, flight catering, air hangars in Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Goa. Currently looks after the corporate material function of the group, handling the procurement of capital goods, engineering consumables, AMC service contracts, energy efficiency initiatives, IT, digitization for over 100 plus hotels, flight catering units, newly built hotels, and renovation projects. I shall now come over to Rahul Kadri. He's low-key, understated, a man of very few words, as I've known him. He is a partner and principal architect at IMK Architects. Rahul took over the reins of the firm from his father, Mr. I.M. Kadri, in the 90s after he graduated in Diploma in Architecture from the Academy of Architecture, Mumbai, and he has a master's in urban and regional planning from the University of Michigan, USA, which is where I have been for a while. Kadri's work for widely acclaimed with multiple felicitations from IIA, Times Network, and most recently in National Award for India's Top Architects 2020 from CWAB 2020. Abhishek Mathur. Abhishek Mathur is the director HBA Studio India. He's based out of Mumbai now. Abhishek established the Studio HBA office in Mumbai in 2015. He brings his deep understanding of hospitality and high-end luxury design to all his projects with an acute understanding of local context. Prior to opening the Mumbai studio, Abhishek led and successfully delivered projects with HBA Singapore and Studio HBA in Delhi. He has over 13 years of professional experience as an architect and an interior designer, having worked in prestigious firms in New York, New Delhi, Singapore, before joining HBA. Coming to Gaurav Malhotra, he's the man who's in the saddle for Hansgrohe in India, South Asia, and he leads a very important function. Let me detail this further. Gaurav heads the Hansgrohe business in India and South Asia, which we all call SARC. In addition to his South Asia leadership role, Gaurav heads the key accounts efforts of Hansgrohe in India and Asia. With an experience of 21 years, Gaurav has worked extensively in leadership roles in the building and construction domain. He's perhaps one of the most experienced, stable, and hands on leader in this category, this domain, and business. Hansgrohe is in very, very good hands. Over to you, Ritu. Let's take the show. Next 75 minutes, yours. Unmute here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Bhuvanesh, for such a wonderful introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with my fellow panelists on the BW and Hansgrohe show. In today's time, the world is connected virtually like never before, and as we are today. But we are also connected by a responsibility to save and preserve our limited natural resources. So our topic today is naturally creating sustained value. Mr. David Cooper earlier spoke about the value of our natural resources. As architects, designers, hoteliers, and manufacturers, we bring value to our guests and customers, and both values are equally important. Hotel guests today are well-traveled customers with high expectations. They use good quality products in their own residences and make informed choices. The guest wants an element of surprise through design, at the same time, a comfortable, homely feel in their hotel room. And the importance of the bathroom has been growing with innovations and attention to design details. Who better than my eminent panelists to share their views on this topic? So I'd like to move over to Abhishek to start off. So Abhishek, you have a wealth of experience, as Bhuvanesh has already told us. Tell us about your creative style and some experiments with the projects pertaining to the guest room bathrooms. Is there a case study on one of your projects where you feel the bathroom was unique or different, and would you like to share that with us?
Yeah, certainly. I would first like to welcome everyone and just say hi to everyone again. It's a pleasure to be on the panel. And I hope you can hear me, Ritu. I was having some audio difficulties. Okay, fantastic. So coming to your question, Ritu, I think it's an extremely pertinent topic, especially for hospitality design. I think, you know, I always feel that when a guest comes into a hotel, they carry a certain set of expectations. And, you know, one of the strongest touch points of any hotel is its bathrooms, right? A guest, like, you know, is sort of looks forward to like refreshing themselves in the shower or, you know, getting a good night's sleep in the bed. So, you know, these kind of guest room touch points are really, really important. And what my experience has been working on different properties is that one needs, from a design perspective, understand what is the kind of demographic we are looking at and for which property. So to give you an example, recently for a city hotel in Kerala, in Kochi, for a very prominent brand, so it's a city hotel, but we've tried to give the whole design a personality. The whole bathroom is not just designed beautifully, but we went a step further and worked with a graphic design team to also design, you know, accessories, shampoos, shampoo bottles, and, you know, all these kinds of different bathroom accessories. You know, your shower robes, you know, the door handles, everything. So, you know, it just cuts across a little bit deeper for an immersive experience to carry on the whole, you know, design narrative. And that's the hard part, right, to do in a city hotel. For a resort property, though, what I'm currently working on and what I'm very excited about is a resort in Nandi Hills that, again, we are doing with Marriott, actually, where the idea is that, you know, given bathrooms are supposed to be extremely private areas, but how to instill a sense of light, a sense of, you know, nature, connecting with nature, you know, with having these inside-outside spaces. So, you know, we are looking at how to create privacy screens around, you know, the bathroom area and let it open out into the nature. So, you know, it really is one of the most exciting components of doing hospitality design. And I suppose you can chip in here with your experience as well.
Yes, that's true. Well, I love what you said about giving the bathroom a personality. I think that's something really amazing. You hear of probably the lobby having a personality. It's a great thing to hear the bathroom as well having a personality. And yes, definitely, when you talked about bringing in nature, I think that's something which is goes with the whole topic of sustainability and biophilic design, and that's something very much what even we're trying to do. And I think the challenge is getting in the biophilic design and the nature in a business hotel. You're like you said, when you do it in resort, it's part of the landscape. And I think what's also important is the planning aspect, that when you are planning the in and the out together, the whole process starts right from the beginning of architectural and interior planning. And that's something we love to do, is to come in early with the architects to plan the spaces well. And speaking of planning, it reminds me of a quote by the earlier General Eisenhower, an American president, who said, in preparing for battle, I have found plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Now, as architects and designers, I'm sure our plans are not useless and they're very important. But when we talk about indispensable planning, it brings me over to Mr. Rizwan, who does a lot of planning for the projects with Taj. And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Rizwan, that, as we have already heard, that bathrooms have become important to travelers, and as important, if not more, than the bedrooms. And hotels are taking a plunge into more creative bathrooms. This could mean new product concepts for different projects. So in a greenfield project, how do you balance the creative process at design stage and the project execution in your delivery?
Hi, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Nice being here on the panel with all of you. Well, Ritu, to answer your question, yeah, you're very right when you say that bathrooms are equally important as bedrooms in today's world. And these are the two: a good bed, and a well-appointed bathroom are the two key elements a guest is expecting when he walks into a hotel guest room today, right? And like you mentioned, products. Yes, products do differ from property to property, category of hotel to category of hotel. So when you talk about balancing creativity as well as project execution, let me just touch base on creativity aspect first. A design brief is very clearly spelled out, to the designer when he's on board or he or she is on board, to take care of new trends, technology, and guest expectations. While at the same time, it's also stressed upon that we should not be overdoing it, which then sort of becomes cumbersome for usage. Ultimately, what you want is a guest to use fixtures which are user friendly without causing any confusion and complications. While and in terms of creativity, I think we at IHCL have been quite open to allowing designers. We have designers here on the panel. You have worked with us, whereas Abhishek also has done quite a lot of work for the Taj. I think we've been working with you guys, and I think you guys have been using your creativity a lot. While I think we have allowed you guys to express your creativity, but but to ensure that we ensure that we're not really overdoing it. That's the only point over there in terms of creativity. Now, when we look at what we are trying to do new in terms of our bathrooms and all, we are using new trends like a smart seat cover, which is a way of saving water, but it's high on technology. Whereas we're doing away with the tubs in most of our city hotels, and providing shower cubicles, which is giving a better shower experience. And when you look at project execution again, it all depends on the category of hotel and the guest it is catering to. Like a palace property will probably have traditional fixtures, not to alter the original fabric of the palace. While in a new luxury property like a Taj or a Vivanta, you would probably go ahead with a lot of contemporary design or any other design which will probably speak the design language. And creativity definitely can be expressed more in a new greenfield property than a palace property where you're restricted, you are constrained, to look at the original fabric of the structure. But you still have to ensure that you're meeting with the required norms and regulations of a particular city to ensure you're not really going overboard, and to ensure that you're speccing the right materials and fixtures. So which is, I think, of prime importance. So it is definitely, that is where you're looking to balance the creativity with project execution by ensuring that proper design management process is followed right from the start to the end. That is where you actually are working together with the designers, with the internal stakeholders to understand the requirements, the needs, whereas also trying to incorporate the new trends and integrating design in a way that the guest who walks into a room is able to use it without any trouble, and also easing maintenance aspect of it, because ultimately after something is installed you also need to maintain a product. So that is something also that needs to be looked at very carefully. So I think that's how we're looking to really balance creativity with execution.
That's great. Thank you. Yes, it's been wonderful working on the Taj Swarna Amritsar project with you and the whole team. I think that was really nice, and it was a city hotel. It is a city hotel, and I remember the presidential suite where we actually have a bathtub with a view. That turned out, I think, very interesting.
Absolutely.
So you're right, maintenance is absolutely important and the materials play a big role there. However, I think everything has a life in its, of its own in terms of the product. And as we always have to keep, as a brand, I'm sure, one has to always keep looking at new things for the guests. And so I'd like to ask Mr. Hariharan, when it comes to the hotel upgrade of the bathrooms to keep up with the times, how often do you upgrade the bathroom fixtures at your properties? And would you like to throw some light on the strategy?
Good afternoon, Ritu, and first of all, thanks to BW Hotelier and Bhuvanesh for inviting on this panel, and welcome to all the panelists here. So Ritu, regarding the question on the upgrade of the property or the renovations of the bathroom per se, bathroom per se is renovated only over a period of 10 to 15 years. Primarily, a renovation in a hotel happens. First step is to have a refurbishment, which is typically like polishing, changing the carpet, upholstery, and painting. The second level is the complete renovation, and when we come to complete renovation, the bathrooms are renovated, because during refurbishment, the bathrooms cannot be renovated because of various infrastructure issues like marbles and tiles and everything. So bathrooms are renovated in months, in 10, 15 years. So that's a long duration for renovating a bathroom, wherein the technology has gone to a leap change. What you have now and what you have 10 years down the line, it's a lot of things that needs to be factored in when the renovation happens. And during that time, when the bathroom is renovated, you change the pipeline, internal pipelines and everything, because that's the only moment you get in, because those pipes have gone over a period of 10 plus years or 15 years in certain cases. So that is the strategy that is taken, is that I have the best of the fixtures and best of the accessories and everything that is available. Today, like, people wants to have a larger space in the bathroom, like larger area with well-illuminated grooming session, and sometimes you have spa jet out, or you have different lighting effects through the mood. Besides the bathroom mirrors that is there today, you have televisions also in the bathroom, like Rizwan mentioned, like the heated seats that has been provided, which is again one of the latest things that is there, which was not there, say, a decade ago. So those are the certain factors that are considered in. The other thing that is factored in is also, like, the energy saving, the water saving things. When we say water saving, it's not reducing the water. It's the best way to use the water that is possible to be done. Like recent example I'll give you, when we did this exercise during the COVID, one of the things was that touch-free things. Everything is touch-free. Your sanitizer has to be touch-free. Your hand wash has to be touch-free. Everybody came with sensor water taps. So okay, fine, don't have handles or anything. We came with one more step ahead. We found that, okay, why touch-free only water? Why not touch-free even the dispenser? So you have this spout with two dispensers. You wave one hand, you get chemical or to wash the hand. On the other side, you wave the hand, you get water. So it's a total touch-free. We are also looking at doing away with the bathroom amenities, those small 35 ml, 40 ml bath shampoo and those liquid, and having it on a touch-free dispenser. So there's always an innovation that goes around in the creation of the renovating the bathrooms. It happens both in the renovation and in the new build. And again, in the new build, you have a lot of leverage to do it, as Rizwan again mentioned, that in a renovation within the space of the 35-40 square foot in a typical city bathroom, you have, and you need to use that space to the best possible that is there, with a lot of lighting and other things. And procurement, again, I am now in the shoes of procurement. Renovations is my past. But in the procurement also, it plays a very important role for us when we are procuring this bathroom fixtures. We look at warranty, we look at the after-sale service, the spare parts availability. Those are very critical. You complete the bathroom, but then it has to run for next 10, 15 years. You need to have the spare parts. You can't change the cartridge and other thing. You need to have those. So those are from the other angle, from the operations angles, that is looked at as a strategy, when we renovate the bathrooms or when we do the new bathrooms along with the other areas in the hotel premises. I hope I answered your query.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. In fact, thank you. I admit I'm going to miss those little amenities that I always look forward to, but I think it's great innovation, to have the touch-free for the soap and the water as well. I think that's truly innovation coming through there. So coming to Mr. Kadri. Mr. Kadri, you've done a variety of projects and a lot of hotel projects as well. And I also believe that you are involved in community development projects, and you run a girls' school and support various NGOs as part of your social responsibility. I think that is truly amazing, and that really adds to the whole intent of our topic today, where we talk about society and how to be socially responsible. But since today we're here to talk about hotels, supporting the objective of providing true hospitality to everyone, how, according to you, can well-designed bathrooms add value to the guest experience at hotels?
Okay. Firstly, thanks a lot, Bhuvanesh, for inviting us to be on the panel and listening to all you wonderful speakers. Those videos and the talk that David gave was beautiful, fascinating. Thanks a lot for that. I'd like to correct one thing. So Rizwan, spoke about Ritu and Abhishek working for the Taj Group, but they would not be working for the Taj Group if we had not worked for the Taj Group when you were a one hotel property. So neither of you are been working for so many years that you remember 50 years ago when you had only one property. And then you had to convince JRD Tata to make the second, which was Fort Aguada, Goa, which was Goa, where you are from. It was a low-cost project, Shaba tiles, AC sheet roof. There wasn't any money available. And then from there, everything has grown. And now Ritu and Abhishek are enjoying the benefits of that. So the first 15 hotels is what we built in partnership.
I apologize.
So we've had a very strong association with the Taj Group. In fact, I mean, our firm was built on that one relationship which we had. In saying that, I've forgotten the question, but I think I tried to.
Okay.
So basically,
it's
so what you're saying is.
Sure.
Go ahead. You want to repeat it?
Yeah. How, according to you, can well-designed bathrooms add value to the guest experience at hotels?
Right. So I think we've all spoken about it quite a lot, and it is a crucial space. I think, and we've all been saying, besides the bed, it is the experience in the bathroom. But overall, I think the direction that hotels are moving towards is to how much, and we've used this word, how biophilic can we be? Because human beings just love to be with nature. I mean, if we can, we would live in the forest and bathe in the river. Those are the kind of experiences we want to have. And with the budgets of space that a city hotel, which is very expensive to build, there is always this, you're always juggling with how much space you give to the toilet and how much space you give to the room, and what is that balance, and trying to balance everything to do with that. So, but I think juggling with that, and what has happened, some of the trends is that bringing glass to the toilet has been a major thing that had happened. So natural light coming in. So using devices like that, where you don't have to necessarily give more space, but you can be lighter in touch, uh, where things can disappear in a sense, where you're not closing things up, you're giving a much bigger sense of space, is what needs to happen more and will happen more and more. I think we're going to come to a time when the part of a room, there's about 3 meters of window available, and that 3 meters of window, you're getting all the light in. I think a time will come where we'll be able to have a multifaceted space, where we put the reading chair and the desk, and at the touch of a button, it becomes a toilet, and at the touch of the button, it switches again. So by the window, everything will happen by the window, even in a business hotel. Now, this is already happening in the resorts, but how do you get that coziness of a resort, or that nature which is so easy to provide a resort in a business hotel? And I think seeing that trend already. I mean, one of the decade-old examples, and forgive me for using a non-Taj one, is the ITC Gardenia, which is a business hotel in the middle of the city, but it's literally you feel you're in a garden, at least in the public spaces. So those are the kind of innovations I think are going to go all the way up to the bathroom and open it up completely.
I think that's amazing. Thank you. I think you're right. With the right planning, with all the key stakeholders, you can actually plan something well to bring in, as you said, to bring in the light and to take advantage of the space to make the guest feel that they're not boxed in a city hotel. And especially in cities where you may not have a view. Personally, I need to see the window and not face a wall when the window is open. And it's so important not to, at the end of a busy day, when you come back to your hotel, to be able to have a sense of being in some form of nature or light, or to be able to just feel space, and even if it's created by design. So it's very interesting. Thank you. Coming to Mr. Cooper, it was a wonderful presentation that we saw earlier, and I love what you talked about in avant-gardism as well. So we've all agreed that the bathroom is a key part of the experience. So from the economy to luxury segment, bathrooms are turning from functional to emotional places. How do you make a balance of the client's budget and your creativity perspectives?
Ritu, hi, thank you. So I think that's a very good question, especially in this moment in time we found ourselves where budgets are under increasing pressure, as well as we have the situation of declining natural resources. But as a leading global brand within design is important to us. So, I mean, that is still something that I believe we will focus on going into the future. However, we do believe we listen to our customers, and we offer quite a broad array of products, from, let's say, the Hansgrohe entry level through to the luxury avant-gardism with Axel. However, that being said, there is a fast-growing, upwardly mobile middle-class segment that we would also like to target. And a lot of these people in this particular market can be found in Asia and Africa. So Hansgrohe wanting to participate in this, we also need to make sure that we launch the right product assortments for these markets, whether it be in terms of design or style, or whether it also to suit the local conditions. So we believe our customers, they love to buy our Hansgrohe products because they know the brand, they know the German quality promise, the design leadership, as well as our service before and after the sale. However, due to limited budgets, we do understand that sometimes corners need to be cut and customers can look for cheaper options. So our focus now is on the development of new target market groups and the acquisition of new customers in the economic segment, but without compromising on our industry-leading design. So I think a big focus going forward is we will bring design to the economy or entry level of the market. So the versatility of our products and the ability to choose between different attractive designs will provide the right solution for every bathroom, lifestyle, and taste, depending on our customers' requirements and their budgets.
Thank you. I think that's a great initiative because India is definitely a huge market for the mid-market segment in hospitality and the economy segment as well. TID does a lot in that segment as well, and we can see that there is still a need to cater to various two-tier and three-tier cities. So I think you're on the right track there.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. So yes, coming to our host, Bhuvanesh, how are you? Good, Bhuvanesh. So hotels have been a lucrative market for the design fixtures, and many homeowners actually take inspiration from their own home bathroom decor from photos they've seen of hotel bathroom trends. What's your take on that?
Well, absolutely. I've done a lot from, especially for my new bathroom. I've taken, I won't know name from where, but I loved it so much that I redid the bathroom, remodeled it to a hotel, and I love it. Yeah. Wonderful. And not just that, let me tell you, people are mobile and aware. We all learn something or the other from somewhere, right? Right now, it's Hansgrohe on my mind. So I was asking Gaurav, what do I have to sell? What part of my assets do I have to let go to acquire Hansgrohe? So he said, no, we'll make it possible. You don't have to sell anything. On a more serious note, you see, life is short and experiences are good. We all want to make it comfortable within our own budget lines, right? And more than anything else, the past assets that we have in our homes, especially bathrooms, kitchens, be it faucets, be it showers, are heavy on water consumption. So the new products, the new lineups like David showed off today in his keynote, and Gaurav has spoken about it. Yesterday, Thomas spoke about it, are far advanced, There'll be a lot of lookalike Me Too's, but then you've got to have a discerning eye to pick up the right line, be it at your home or office. Let me tell you, there is far more wastage in hotels and offices because there the people say, listen, I'm not paying for it, right? So what do? I mean, to now you have flushless urinals at airports and large public facilities.
Very true. In fact, I think that's where the detail comes in. Like you said, you might have a lot of Me Too brands, but the original brand always looks at the design and the detail, and that's where the difference is in the quality and the brand standards. And,
that's why.
So, like you spoke about homes, my home is 20 years old, and I call it a heritage property already. So yes, things do wear out quite fast. Okay. So coming to Gaurav. Gaurav, how do you bring values to bathroom designs with the environment-friendly products?
Sure. So Ritu, first of all, a quick hello to you and the fellow panelists and the audience. It's a pleasure to be amongst you all. Just like you used a quote, I would like to use one too. So actually, this is a quote from our inspirational designer, Mr. Philippe Starck, and he says that we are all prisoners of a throwaway society. The only way to escape is by creating sustainable design. So I think a very apt quote for this discussion as well. And for the rest of the answer, I'll wear two hats. So the first hat is actually the industry, and of course the Hansgrohe hat. There, it is obvious that the most value that we add is from our core pillar of sustainability. And obviously, we are a bit closer to the fixtures and faucets that go to the bathroom. And there have been a lot of efforts on water conservation that we have seen recently. Some of them have been talked, but I'll quickly just take up. So for example, in the basin mixers or the showers, we are looking at lowering the flow of water, but not lowering the experience at all. On the toilets, you have more and more dual flush. Bhuvanesh talked about waterless urinals also, but you basically look again at not compromising on the flushing technology, but at the same time saving water as well. If you go beyond these fixtures and go to the vanities and the bathtubs, you can actually have a play around the materials used also. A lot of people go in for stone bathtubs nowadays. Again, a very different option. On vanities, you have people that go in for recycled wood. I think that's again a very, very unique perspective around that. But I would actually want to take off my industry hat and talk about a few things that I experience as a consumer. So the first thing that puts me off, for example, when I get into a hotel room, is if the air is stale or the feeling is a bit humid. Many times it actually happens. So I think Mr. Kadri talked about it. I think the two elements that influence that is the use of natural lighting and ventilation. Now, it's a lot easier when it's your house. I can understand that it's not as easy when it's a hotel room, and then even more so when you have to take it to the bathroom. So there, I think the key aspects are to use energy efficient lighting, to use energy efficient ventilation fans, because those are very necessary, not just because they cause damage to some of the materials used in those bathrooms, but actually obviously more focused on the human health aspect. And the last thing I would say is, I think Bhuvanesh and maybe many members of the audience, and maybe you yourself, Ritu, if you've stayed in Delhi for a couple of years, especially a couple of winters, and if you understand the air pollution aspect, I think you would be able to now roll out the names of 5 air purifying plants, because that is what people have resorted to after using the air purifiers. So I think getting, for example, plants into the bathroom is a beautiful aspect. I mean, they actually do add beauty. And if there are health benefits, why not? So largely, it's about getting more eco-friendly material. It's something that's very good for the planet. And if you have a little bit of patience and a little bit more long-term focused, very good for your pocket as well.
Yes, that's absolutely right, what you said. I am definitely a Delhiite as well, so I know where you're coming from. It's, we did have, I think the entire planet faced a breather for 3-4 months when we had all locked down, but we're back to square one right now on the pollution levels. So coming back to Mr. Kadri, I think Gaurav set the right tone in talking about the environment. And so Mr. Kadri, can you tell us about a few innovations in the bathroom space, which could be turning points in conservation initiative, or if you would like to add other aspects in your projects, which you feel are important in being sustainable and environment friendly? You would need to unmute, Mr. Kadri.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think we've all spoken about the balance between the experience and conserving water, and I think fittings have evolved quite a lot to be able to do that. Where the experience of the shower is great, but the amount of water they use is less. I think in a bathroom, one area that's neglected is when it comes to maintenance, and design can play a great part in that, and materials, a selection of materials, because if it is easy to clean, then the amount of water you would use to clean it would be less, and the amount of chemicals you would use to clean it would be less. And what I would like to see is actually surfaces which are self-cleaning, in a sense, that or at least come very close to needing, are just so easy to clean that the kind of chemicals you need that we use, and they're fairly harsh to keep a toilet spick and span. The kind of chemicals used is fairly harsh. So if that can be, so I think we need a focus there. And the other thing is on the embodied energy in making the materials. Um, you know, uh, Toilet fittings are fairly heavy metal, and the embodied energy that goes into making them is a fair amount. So I think that some much greater thought, and if manufacturers and designers are looking at how they are saving material and what techniques they're using, not only to make products last much longer, and as Philip Stark and Gaurav said, um, maybe Hariharan wouldn't even need to redo his toilet every 10 to 15 years if they were designed like so fantastically that it's just so timeless in the way it works. So that timelessness, bringing that in as well. But I think that the main three things I would think need more thinking and thought to make toilets even more sustainable than they are.
I think that's absolutely right. Cleaning is very important, and I'm sure our housekeeping teams would just love products like that. And I hope some of them are listening on the panel. They would love to probably talk more about those type of products. Thank you. Mr. Rizwan, as we talk about ecotourism and which is growing rapidly, and I believe Taj also has properties as Taj Safari. What are your environment-friendly initiatives at your properties for using the different efficient use of energy and water and materials, and providing quality service that Taj is so famous for? You need to unmute, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Ritu, I think we've been working on this for a long time now, and solar energy is one of the key initiatives that we've been using, and which is also a mandate. Then we've changed to LED lighting entirely in all our properties now. We're not doing anything else other than LED lighting. We're using energy efficient chillers, and controlling them with VFDs and all. So that is where we're saving on energy. Then in terms of water, we're doing low flow fixture, the way David mentioned about earlier, and so did Gaurav and Rahul. Everyone spoke about, and Abhishek also, about low flow fixture. So these are some of the stuff that we're using. Now in a property in Andaman that we opened a couple of years back, we've also gone with zero plastic there. We have a bottling plant. That is one of our first zero plastic property that we've commissioned in the year 2018. We've installed a bottling plant, and there's no plastic that is being used in that property. And when it comes to materials, that particular property also, we've reduced the consumption of civil material. We've constructed all the rooms, all the guest rooms with timber. They're all in timber. So that is where also we've sort of made use of a lot of material that reduces the consumption of energy. So timber is one, and a lot of usage of glass. Even on our facade, we're using low E glass and TGU glass to also reduce the heat load, to reduce on the energy. So these are all the measures that we are using, and also biogas to some extent in some properties to take care of some of the load, not entirely, but at least some of the load of the staff areas, back of house areas. We're using biogas as well. So these are some of the key initiatives that we have been implementing for quite some time now, and I think it's being carried forward on all the new ongoing projects as well.
That's very nice. I hope I get to travel there soon once the traveling is a little more comfortable. Yes. I would love to come and see that.
You should. Yeah, you should, definitely. It's open. The resort is open now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So coming back to Mr. Cooper, I had noted on your presentation, there is a word which said human-centric. And that really caught my eye because it talks about how the focus is on the human being, and the product is human-centric. And I think that was a very interesting word to start the presentation with. And would you like to talk about the commitment, talk more about the commitment to minimize ecological, environment, and social impact, as we have seen earlier? You need to unmute. Yes.
Sorry, apologies. Thank you. So water has been at the core. Our passion for at the core of our business for over a century now, and we have been focusing now on our carbon footprint for a number of decades. And besides being the first to bring sophisticated technology and long-lasting quality and design to our product, we also act responsibly to make sustainability an integral part of not only our products, but also how we manage our operations, our processes, our employees, and also our suppliers. So just to give you some examples, so in production, we recycle 90% of the water that we use. Of the waste. Our new electrolyting plant has helped us reduce water by around 35% and cuts the water consumption by up to 15% as compared to as recent as 2016. We have used 30 metric tons of recycled material by using renewable materials in our product packaging. And one of our guests also alluded to earlier that sometimes when you're in a hotel, someone doesn't care, they might leave a mixer running. So all our mixers are standard at 5 liters per minute. So I think these are just a few examples demonstrating how we are committed to environmental responsibility, not only in, let's say, how we manufacture our product, but also in our products.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Coming to Mr. Hariharan, you had mentioned that your role is in procurement. And can you tell us more about the Taj corporate strategy for procurement? And in the current scenario, is there an impact on the supply chain due to the pandemic?
Ritu, procurement as a process universally is known as cost, quality, and delivery. These are the three factors. But now we have added on additional factors to it. One is sustainability. The other factor is your digitization. That is one of the major role that we do on procurement. So when we say procurement, it is just not products; it's products and services. So one is the physical products, and other is services. We also do responsible sourcing. That is one of the major focus for procurement that we need to do it. Single-use plastics are being taken out with the biodegradable materials. Then energy efficiency like solar and other powers, LEDs that is being used. We have come across with MNCs which when they ask for RFP to us, that one of the requirement is responsible sourcing. So what is the responsible sourcing? Is it audited? What is the proof? So we do responsible sourcing. We do a risk management also with the vendors, saying that what risk we have with the vendors that we associate with it. So there are various strategies that have been taken into procurement. Just not earlier it was purely like pricing. No, pricing is one critical factor. We understand you do the RFP tendering and everything. But besides pricing, you have to look at various other non-tangible factors like the payment terms, the warranties, the AMCs, particularly for capital goods. What is the post-factor sales in terms of the commercials, in terms of the SLAs? So those are critical when we do the procurement as a strategy also. We are into forecasting in warehousing where we are 100 hotels. Earlier, 100 hotels used to place 100 orders each hotels, but it's all in 3PL now, where one source is there, where all the products per se, the daily consumables are being bought out, that those are there. We are into brand standardizations. So a lot of initiatives are undertaken, but unfortunately, this pandemic has thrown a different vulnerabilities and exposed us to the vulnerabilities that is there now. And we have come across more on local versus global. So that is one of the things that how much today you have major players manufacturing in India, so that is one of the advantage that we have in sourcing locally in terms of timelines and other factors that are there. currently with the pandemic, I know it's difficult situations, and the volume of procurement has come down, but this is the time that we need to think forward. What can be done? It's a learning experience. Virtual meetings were never ever thought about before March. You couldn't have a meeting without across the table, particularly if you are discussing commercials and other things. But today we close number of contracts and everything on the what you call the virtual meetings. So these are the new things that we learn on day-to-day basis from the procurement. And again, when I say procurement, I always look at procurement as not only products but services. There are various services which are there, say a software, say a broadcasting service, you name it, and you need to strategize depending upon the product. Is it a one-time consume product? Is it a lifelong thing, say for elevators or say bathroom fixtures? Again, one of the examples which is there, which you're not going to change it in next 10, 15 years, then you need to plan it accordingly. So it is on a day-to-day basis that is taken a call.
I think, that's wonderful, because that's an indirect value to the guest as well. When you are, so consciously, and as you said, doing responsible sourcing, you're actually benefiting the guest who's actually the end user. And I think, it's music to a designer's ears when you say that price is not the main criteria, and there's so much more that goes into it with quality and like you said, the carbon footprint and the other social sustainable aspects. So that was great to hear about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gaurav, well, we've spoken about mid-market and luxury as well, and luxury is important to the hotel guests, but so is the environment, as we spoke about. Both are valuable. So besides Hansgrohe's initiative to reduce water consumption, any other innovations for conservation that you have applied in the products?
Sure. So actually there are three elements to your question, and I'll just take them one by one. I think first is just an understanding of luxury and our core strengths and how we kind of line up against that. So for me, luxury has three aspects to it. One, it needs to be differentiated and very exclusive. I think Hansgrohe's core pillar is innovation, and that kind of resonates to this aspect. The second is that luxury is timeless. I think Mr. Kadri also mentioned that, and it's very genuine and authentic. Now, here, if you look at the fact that we work with designers, leading designers all across the globe, they choose not only a product design, but also the materials that come up into the final product, which takes care of the fact that over years and years, you can still be comfortable and still feel luxurious with the product that you are facing. And the third one actually is the pursuit of excellence. So to some extent, I'm a proud Indian, but the German heritage and the precision engineering that they are well known for obviously give a product that kind of corresponds a bit more to that. The second part of the question, actually, I need to first acknowledge that a lot of efforts from most of the manufacturers have been around water conservation. I think Mr. Hariharan also took up that point that we need to go beyond water conservation by way of not just lowering the flow of water, but having more systems that go around it. Hansgrohe has in the past actually looked at filtration systems where it has actually captured water. It has actually even captured the heat that gets lost in a warm shower and tried to reuse that as well. But the third part was on the technologies of the future. And I would like to introduce a platform that we are rolling out or in the process of rolling out in Germany, which is called Pontos. Now, this is something that not only talks about water conservation, it's about water management and actually to some extent controlling the living environment that you are in. So this consists of two particular components. One is the Pontos base. This is like an electronic unit that gets put at the mains of the water entry into the apartment. This unit is a digital valve, so it measures the flow of water that goes into various places in your apartment. Over a period of time, you can actually have trends of water consumption. You can also see any conspicuous changes in that trends. At any point of time, if you feel that there is a very abrupt or a very abnormal change, there is an app by which you can actually control to even shut off the water. At times when you're going away from home, you can actually shut off the water too. The second component of this is called the Pontos Scout, which is actually our Alexa. So this can be placed at various components, various places in the house, depending on where you consider there could be damage on account of a water leakage, or where it can be integrated with other appliances to control certain aspects. So here, actually, it can be integrated to control the temperature of the room. It can be integrated to look at humidity in the room. And if there is any excess water that falls on this device, you will get an early warning alarm. So these are the kind of technologies that we are working on. Most of them are on, of course, the IoT platform, and most of them need infrastructure to come in from a holistic, perspective, which is why it will be rolled out in different parts of the world at different phases. But I'm very hopeful that we'll get to see these kind of innovative technologies in India soon. Thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And, that reminds me of an African proverb. It says, tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. And I can see y'all are definitely preparing today for our tomorrow. That's absolutely a wonderful feeling. Thank you. So back to Abhishek. We need to hear the designer in the room again. Designers often have to overcome unanticipated challenges when creating bath areas for guest rooms, especially when the building plans are frozen and the shaft size and location is predetermined. Not only must the space meet the latest guest demands and brand standards, but a wide range of logistics can affect the overall look of the space. So how would you address this, and have you experienced this, and what, according to you, are the contemporary design challenges?
Yeah, of course, Ritu. I think this question is, I'm sure you want to answer this question.
We can both have a one-on-one on it. Yes.
It's something that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think it will make for a good discussion between. I'm sure Mr. Kadri would also have his thoughts on this one. My take is that, like anything, when we are claiming to be experts on design, then I think this comes as a mandate to us to try and convert constraints into opportunities. And the way I see it, most of the time, I mean, my team and I, we have a lot of fun taking this up as a challenge, in a constrained flow plan, because it's like a very iterative process. As we all understand, you have to make a lot of options before you finally find the one that works, perfectly. And it's like sort of fitting in a jigsaw puzzle, so I see it as a playful act of designing, where you have to find the right fit. And to me, it's quite gratifying to get to the moment where this works, you are onto something good. And from leading on to some of the other questions earlier, I do feel that the other part from a design perspective is also how to have a certain lightness about this discussion on sustainability. I mean, I don't mean to make light of it, but how to be agile in a way that you don't feel like there is a weight on your great weight resting on the shoulders, and you are then you're not able to think a little bit sort of outside the box. So I feel that one of the responsibilities as designers that I see is how to have that attitude of having some lightness around this, and how to convert again a constraint into an opportunity, and how to maybe through some of the methods that Gaurav already described, trying to encourage having local material context, trying to have the latest technology, but do it in a way that ultimately everything contributes to the guest experience. It should not be centered around, how shall I say this without sounding bad? I mean, we don't want to save the world like that, right? It's like one step at a time. But I think you need to sort of first be good at what you do, and try to have a little bit of lightness around it, if that makes any sense. And I think with the guest experience as the first and foremost principle, I think solutions emerge through a dialogue with a lot of other collaborators, especially if we have operators on board, Rizwan and Mr. Hariharan are here. I'm sure, they all see all good properties are a result of a good collaboration. So, a dialogue-based, collaborative, light approach and, trying to make constraints into opportunities is what I think, are the best way to go about it. That's what I can think of at the moment.
I think that's great. I mean, we do have to enjoy what we do. As they say, love what you do and you'll never work a day, right? So I think that's true. One has to find the lightness in it as well and just know that there is an aim at the end. And, if you keep that aim in mind as the ultimate goal, then definitely we should have fun while we're at it. And I'd like Mr. Kadri to add to this as well,
So, whilst we're on a lighter note, Abhishek spoke about getting the jigsaw right, and you finally cracked everything, and it's like the team is really happy, and you go in and you present, and so not the Taj guys, but the owner comes in and says, "Bhai, vastu kiya ki nahi?" So for David. Vastu, I don't know whether you're familiar with Vastu, but it's like Feng Shui in China. We have Vastu here. And, it's like everything is done, everybody is happy, and then this completely irrational constraint comes in. I mean, to designers, it just isn't rational. But you have to deal with it, because owner is demanding it. And being playful with that requires all the tenacity and all the maturity of the team to be playful with Vastu, and then build that in as well, and be satisfied with it. And sometimes it actually works. It actually makes the design better. So yeah, just a little add-on.
In fact, while we're having fun, just a question, Mr. Kadri, would you design the room around the bathroom or the bathroom around the room?
Oh boy. I think it would be fun to design the room around the bathroom.
Okay.
And we've actually done it. We've done it, and it increases the length of the corridor. But we had a 5-meter grid, and we gave 1.5 meters of that grid to the bathroom, so we got natural light, and then 3.5 meters to the room. And the interior designer who came in, spun his magic as well to integrate both. So it actually worked. Yeah. So actually, it was integrating both.
Wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful. So over to you, Bhuvanesh. Any words would you like to add? What we have spoken today.
You still have another 10 minutes. You could go on with another question or two, and then I'll come in. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is time. You're well within time. So okay, I think you might want to ask Rizwan, Hari, David, another question. Then I shall come and summarize. I have my details ready.
Okay. So I'm just going to have some lighter questions. I think, Mr. Cooper, any bathroom design on a holiday that stands out in your memory from experience point of view? Because we all travel, and I think I love to hear about those special memories of design that stay with a person when they've traveled.
Yeah, so I would probably think of the one, and I must say, so one thing from my career in different industries, and now with Hansgrohe, is that no matter where I go, I'm always checking out what you've gotten, whether it's your home, whether it's your hotel, no matter at what might be. So my old days in electronics, I was looking at your brand of your TV, your audio system, your microwave, your oven, your pots, your pans, your kettles, your toaster, etc. And now I'm looking at what's in your bathroom, and in your shower, and your basin, etc., etc. So yeah, I did notice these sort of things, but I would have to say there's one particular bathroom that stood out for me, and I have to, it's weird. It's in Japan, and it wasn't necessarily because of the design of the bathroom, but it was just after 9/11. And I was in the Twin Towers of this building in Japan, in Osaka. And literally, there was this airplane that was coming literally straight for us, right after these things of 9/11. Obviously, nothing happened. It didn't come straight for us, but it was obviously heading off to the airport somewhere. But that is one particular let's say experience in a bathroom that I do recall in a strange environment or strange land. Otherwise, again, I like what the guests were talking about with the natural light. And there's one that really sticks with me is this, and I won't mention the brand, but it sticks with me with this hotel that we normally stay in when we go to Istanbul in Turkey. And it's quite a high building, and again, it's just got a view to absolutely die for, the Bosphorus with a lot of natural light, a lot of glass. So I would say that's a particular bathroom that I also enjoy, and it stuck with me in a bathroom that I also enjoy going back to, I would say, to that hotel.
That's great. Good to hear that. Thank you. Mr. Rizwan, just wanted to ask you, coming back to the Taj heritage properties, would you retrofit a heritage property with a modern bathroom or retain the old quirkiness?
Well, I think it's going to be a combination of both, Ritu. I don't think you can really, do away with the new technology to a large extent. So it has to be a well thought of combination of, a traditional as well as a modern fixture and amenities, right? So, I can give you an example of a property like the Falaknuma, which I myself was a part of, right from start to the end. So we used a lot of fixtures which are all modern, like when it comes to the WC, the sanitary fixtures. But whereas on the CP fixtures, they were all traditional. They were all traditional and very classical, right? So there was a good mix of modern as well as traditional fixtures in a palace property. And I think that's the same that is applicable to a lot of palace properties that we have across the country. Yeah.
That's definitely a wonderful property, and I think a wonderful thing that Taj has done to bring about the palace and heritage of our country for people to see in a comfortable way that guests can enjoy. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Hariharan, any bathroom design that stands out in your memory from the Taj properties that you would particularly like to tell us about?
Yeah, the palace properties, particularly Lake Palace, those properties, bathrooms really stands out. They are very luxurious. Earlier, Taj used to have, I think Mr. Kadri would acknowledge, we used to have those 4x4 tiles with the printed screen tiles. I think the days are gone of the printed screen tiles. Those were there in 80s and 90s. Those are there. So those are different era. Then you have those palaces bathrooms which are there. Unfortunately, in business hotels, you have the space constraints, but then the designers play around with, open glass view and everything which plays around. The other thing is resort properties. You have those outdoor showers, I don't remember the name, in Bekal or somewhere. You have outdoor showers where, you can step out, and then you have with those covered with the soft scape, you have those showers with the rain showers and everything. So those are some of the things which are, stands clearly in your mind. The other questions I have for David and Gaurav is let me on the other side also to ask question. One of the things on the gate and the responsible sourcing, when we say, we work on e-waste and a lot of other things where, it's a disposable, the responsible disposable of the asset that is there. Today, like Dell and IBM and Lenovo, they take back the, material so that they dispose it off. Is it something on CP fittings or the sanitary waste which Hansgrohe works around, like, again, about a decade or whenever those are taken out, how are they being disposed, or, what is it from the environmental viewpoint, because otherwise this just goes like a scrap. It just sends out to the scrap and scrap dealer takes it out, and what he does we don't know. So is there something on the sanitary ware fixtures that is in process or something which can throw some light? Because right now we only know about electronic waste and plastic waste and other things that is very prominent in the environment, and the people know about it. But on the particular product on sanitary ware and fixtures, if you could throw some light, so that next time when we do some ordering, we know that what we need to do for the existing products to be done. Thank you.
Sure. So I think that's an excellent question. And it is something that has been muted. It's something that, unfortunately, I cannot confirm at this moment in time that is necessarily being done. But I think it's an excellent idea, and it's possibly something that we should definitely look into for the future.
That's great. I think we would love to know more about that. Thank you so much, everyone. I think today we have definitely focused on the blue to stay green. And I would love to continue this conversation, but I think we might be running out of time. So I would like Bhuvanesh to take over to sum up for us.
Thank you, Ritu. I have the job of summarizing the show. But before I go away, I want to tell you all. I know, Hari, if you were involved, either of you, were you involved with the setting up of the Taj Megholi Sarai in Nepal?
No.
No. I must tell you all, David, if you ever plan to go for a holiday, you must go to the Taj Megholi Sarai in Nepal. It's next to the Chitwan National Park. Talk about outdoor bathrooms. It's experience from another planet, right? You have elephants walking right down to the edge of your room and peeping through the windows and your doors, right? It's an amazing experience, one place to be in. Having said that, I feel like such a pygmy over here sharing space with such large personalities, especially people of art, designers, architects. I don't know how you people think. I have a limit. I can't. I have a mental space which I have not been able to graduate, not in engineer like Gaurav and most of you, but I have huge respect for your art, for what you do, for your form. Rahul, we've read so much about your father, about your firm, about you, what all you have done. Abhishek, you're young. You've really climbed up the ladder fast. And Ritu, you, right? Having said that, in Rizwan and Hari, we have two Taj stalwarts. Taj really has people who stay with them. It's like a large family. And I'm sure that's how it goes with Hansgrohe. Great lineage. I have some questions which have come in. There are a whole lot of them. I'm going to pick and choose. You've touched a raw nerve with Cape Town, David.
Yes.
Right? So there is a question from Shreya for David. In fact, there are two back to back. A few years ago, Cape Town went through the worst drought-led water crisis. You live in the Cape. How has South Africa tackled this never-before water crisis? And there's another one to go with it once after you answer.
I'm sorry, what's the second? I didn't hear the second part.
The second one I'll come to.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did we as South Africans deal with the water crisis? Do I understand correctly?
Yes.
No, it was where do I start? I think where we were quite fortunate is that it's here in the Western Cape. We actually had some exceptional leadership that came in, unfortunately, a little bit late, I must say, but when it actually came in, we had some excellent leadership. And I think everybody came together. Everybody understood the seriousness of the situation. And it wasn't a problem, I would say, that was out there, that it was someone else's problem. It wasn't necessarily going to happen. It was something that was very, very real. And I think everybody, for the most part, understood that they had a hand to play in the success of this. And when it came from changing our shower heads, I mean, I know with Hansgrohe, I mean, we donated a lot of shower heads to green shower heads, I should say, to, let's say, government facilities, homes, or old age homes, children's homes, etc., just so everybody could try and get the water usage down. Hotels revamped. Hotels did soft refurbs, whereby they would change to let's say eco-friendly overheads or low flow shower heads, and we would, let's say, we would also contribute to the cost of those products. There were buckets in all the showers in the hotels. People in their homes, like I said, had buckets in the showers. There were these huge tanks that people had in their gardens, installed in their gardens, so they could save rainwater if and when it did rain, so that they could either use their water, have it plumbed into their house to use, which I think is actually, going forward, I think it's also just responsible living. I think it's probably the way it should be, but it's not.
Okay.
And the nice thing is a lot of these are still in place. So going forward, I mean, it has rained, but these are still in place. So going forward, hopefully, will also lessen the opportunity for this to happen in the future.
So what you actually did was answer the second question, which was about what products did Hansgrohe bring in during the crisis. Yeah, I'm going to go with my next question is from Akshay for Rahul. With your rich experience and understanding of your art and the industry, how do you engage with the new generation of designers, architects, and project heads for that fine balance between sustainability and design aesthetics? Rahul, for you. Unmute.
How do we engage with young designers? Young designers form a very, very integral part of our team. And project heads. Yeah. So I think all of them. So the way we work is, it's a fairly democratic process where our focus is on customers and what our customers really want. We are always trying to prioritize, because there's always a budget. We're always trying to prioritize what the customer wants. So we work in narratives. We work with narratives like, say, as a guest, I would like to experience this so that I am able to do this, right? So our project heads are only allowed to define the problem. They are not allowed in the studio to give the solution. So they define what has to be done, which comes from their interaction with the customers and the client. So they define what is to be done, and the young designers and architects have to come up with how to solve it. So their creativity comes in and how to solve it. The senior designer cannot say how to solve it, because that's how we get newer solutions coming in, and the creativity of younger people. Old fogies like us think the same way again and again, but young people come in. So because the way the office is structured, this is a natural process in the office. Did that answer your question?
It did. All right. So it's time to summarize the show. And before I thank you all, Abhishek, Mathur, this is what I summarize from what you've said. One of the strongest touch points of any hotel room is the bathroom. It's also about giving bathroom a personality by creating design details to smallest accessory in place. Right?
That's right.
Rizwan, a design brief is clearly spelled out, but is specified that the design should not be overdone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's very clearly spelled, but we're not really overdoing it.
Perfect.
That's true.
Ritu, maintenance is of absolute importance, and materials play a very important part in that. Beautiful African quote to sum up: tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Thank you.
I'm sure David is going to take it to Africa. He's already there. Right? Hari, water saving is about using the water carefully. An innovative idea of having touch-free dispenser for soap is what we did at Taj. There is always innovation while renovating the bathrooms. Also, while procurement, we also do responsible sourcing and risk management with our vendors. Believe me, that's not going to be very good for guests who are fond of taking all those soaps and shampoos. Right? Rahul, right? It's about balancing all the components in the bathroom in the space, giving much bigger sense of space. A time will come where we will have multifaceted bathrooms, experimenting with natural light and space. We can lend a close to resort-like experience. It'll be fun to design a room around the bathroom. Is that right? Okay. David, as a leading global brand, design is important for us. Our focus is now on new target market and acquisitions of new customers in the economic segment. The versatility of our products and the ability to choose between different and attractive design provide the right solution for every bathroom, lifestyle, and taste. Does it sum it up?
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good. I get a copy of that.
Yeah, you shall. It's there. Gaurav, the values that we add are the core pillars of sustainability. The last thing I'd like to add is about getting plants into bathroom. Very, very nice. Actually, it's very valid. It's a great health benefit. It also is about having a little bit of patience to beautify our planet while having the bathroom equipped with environmental products. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can only thank my master and my stars for being able to share the same screen space with such big names, right? Rahul, I've always wanted. This is my second show with Abhishek and Ritu, right? My second show with Hari, first with Rizwan, first with David, and now second with Gaurav. But Rahul, I've always wanted to do one with you. I'm blessed to have been able to do a show with you, which a show with all of you. It's truly been a pleasure. How this 1.5 hours slipped away, we didn't even know. Having said that, Rizwan, thank you for coming in. We had 3 of them coming in from Taj, Hari, Rizwan. Actually, we have more than 3 with Abhishek, Ritu, and Rahul doing a lot of work with Taj. But we also had Rima Diwan, who was to be here on the show. She had to pull out. She's been indisposed. I miss you here on the show, Rima. While Rizwan and Hari have made it, we shall soon do another special with you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next show is on the 6th of November. It's called it's again at 4 p.m., where innovation meets emotion. It's a very beautiful show. Great panelists. I won't name them, but we shall share the creative with you soon. Thank you, Ritu. You've been a great moderator. Here is the show. Reza Kabul is moderating. Gaurav is doing the keynote. Shiv Kashyap is there. An industry senior of great repute, Mr. Premnath, he is coming into the show. Mevan Gunatalik Tilake, he's coming in from Sri Lanka. He's somebody who plays with water where there's no water. Thomas Stopper comes in. My good friend Asim Afsar comes in. And do I see myself? Yes, I do. Right. So it'll be a great show. Do come in, watch the keynote by Gaurav. I'm sure he'll make it special. And Reza Kabul. Thank you again. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Abhishek, Ritu, Rizwan, Hari, David, Gaurav. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bhuvanesh. You've been a wonderful host.
Ritu, you were a great host. You're a great moderator. Very low-key, very understated, but extremely good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you.
nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
We have a distinct attitude. It determines our thinking. It is the driving force which compels us to continually develop new visions, beginning with the finest materials, traditional methods, and the most innovative technologies, in collaboration with the world's best designers. Resulting in cutting-edge products. Our attitude reveals itself in every detail. Perfect in form and in function. In a class of their own. We share this attitude with our discerning customers. For them, we make no compromise. In every one of our avant-garde products. In every version. In every customization. In perfection. Form follows perfection. Oxor.
As our lives become ever more restless, maybe it's time to ask ourselves, which moments in life are the most beautiful? At Hansgrohe, we believe it's the moments with water. Because water is the essential to us in 1,000 ways every single day. We share it from our very first moments. At special times when we're together with our families and friends. With the ones we love. Or the times when we are simply by ourselves. That's why we do everything we can to make your moments with water as unique and precious as possible. Hansgrohe. Meet the beauty of water.